Hello and welcome to News Weekly. I'm Jack.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome back. So last News Weekly, it was more of an informative video telling you guys how we was going to do things now the podcast was changing and forevermore rebooting into Podcast Corner 101. So this week we're going to tell you a little bit more about Freedom Road, and then we're going to go back to the lovely things that we used to do in the past, where we'd inform you guys on all the news that's going on in COVID land. It's always good to inform you guys because we feel the numbers are getting better and it's nice to talk about things a little bit more positively. So let's crack on with the FRCA updates.
I'm really excited about this. We've got so much news. I mean, so much is happening.
Yeah, we can now officially say that Trib Fest will be happening, but it's changing because no longer can people stay over to keep up with the COVID kind of guidelines. I think that's great, but they're still doing a day event, and obviously it'll end at a certain time. Everyone goes home and everyone's safe. And I think it's great that the Trib Fest is still happening. That we've still got a few festivals maybe happening, but Trib Fest is a definite. We've got obviously Umber Street Sesh that could be a maybe.
That's kind of a shaky. I don't know, but
we don't know.
I hope it is because that festival.
Changing.
I know it's automatic now, but I mean that festival I think is the best festival for us in Trib Fest. I think there are what we look forward to.
Yeah. Don't you think it kind of the vibe of them places is so cool?
A vibe. You don't like that one? That's my word, mate. Vibe's my word.
The
vibe is my word.
He's made vibe a thing, but honestly, when you're there, it's like Hull. You can smell the food, you can see the excitement on people's faces, and it's an outdoor event. So hopefully, possibly, fingers crossed, we see things like that happen.
Yeah, me too. Right, we'll be back in just a second. We're going to change this light colour.
Yeah, go. Right, so welcome back. So we've just sorted out the light. It changes. It might change again. We don't know. But guys, let's talk more about Freedom Road and creative art. So we've gotten 2 podcasts recorded. We can't wait to get them up. We have 3 Q&A sessions for you guys to see very short.
I mean, they turned out really well, didn't they, Jack?
They did.
They turned out really good.
So we have Jamie, we have Toya, and we have Sasha talking to you guys in the interview booth about themselves and the things they do for Freedom Road and also the things they do outside of Freedom Road. Awesome stuff.
I know. I mean, Jack, do you know what, right? I'm really excited about how the podcast is sounding and how these videos are looking. We've got this new studio space, and I think we've learned so much over the time of, the podcast going wrong, not being recorded, things just going wrong. We've learned, haven't we, from our mistakes?
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do, though. You need to learn from your mistakes. And I think, old videos and stuff, we've learned from them, and we've learned to organise things, have a bit more of a script, and follow things a little bit more professionally.
Yeah, because I mean, when it was me, you, Jack, and Luke, it was we're trying to record a video. It'll take us about 6 hours because someone would say something, would laugh, or the light changes,
we'd eat
and we'd
forget. Rolls, it was crazy times. So let's talk a little bit more about FRCA. So guys, for the next few weeks, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break for the radio, and we're coming back very shortly to do a few more episodes before taking a bit more of a bigger break, so concentrate on the podcast and stuff like that. Because the radio was used as more of an outreach when the sessions weren't happening in lockdown. So it was a way of you guys still engaging with Freedom Road if you wasn't in the session. So we brought you music, we brought you things that was happening, so you could keep engaged. So now we feel it's not as much of a priority, and I think the podcasts and stuff like that need to start steering off. So we're putting a little bit less of an emphasis on that for the time being. But don't you worry, FRCA FM will not be forgotten about. It'll still keep going. It's taking a little bit of a back seat for the time being.
I mean, it was great when we started, and I think the radio has been such a new thing for Freedom Road, and a great thing because we're being able to spread our music side a little bit differently on the radio, so it's been really cool. And obviously,
it was awesome getting that music in week after week from these. We'd have this guy literally emailing me about 10 songs a week. Yeah. And these 10 songs were people from Staffordshire to Northampton to Bridlington to Skegness to Hull. It was amazing.
Well, we had that great band, and I've got to get the name right, Revivalry. And I met the drummer on social media, and I think I gave you that. Yeah. And they were just the young people.
And they're kicking.
I know. And they're actually headlining, I think, on the first night at Trib Fest, if it goes ahead. But they're just a really good young band, and I think that they've all got such a talent, and they're going to really get better and better as times to come.
They're amazing, honestly.
And I think we've been able to do this radio show. It's given the experience and the platform to share their stuff, and I think that's why it's been great.
It was good as well to have like some of the bands in and artists come in and have an interview with me and Luke and Ethan, and just kind of talk to them, and it was so fun. We had so many great artists, you know. I can name a few, you know. We had Didier, we had Nicole Fuster, we had Tony, you know, all those great artists from the UK, obviously from Hull, and local, and best of all, they were Freedom Road talent, which is amazing. Yep. So, guys, that's sadly what we have to tell you about the radio. That yes, it is taking a bit of a back seat, but it will be back.
It will be back
with
soon.
A blast. I can tell you that there'll be so much local kind of music that I think it'll be hard to cram it into 2 hours, but we'll try. So, moving on to more Freedom Road updates. We have quite a lot of the sessions still going on as normal, and the podcasts are booming. So that is good to talk about Freedom Road stuff. Is there any other stuff you'd like to add?
Oh, I mean, I really like the new band sessions that are going on a Tuesday and a Wednesday with Molly and Jack, how they've kind of brought all these little individual sessions together now as a band, and I think they sound really sick together, because you've got like all these young people and all these young musicians, and it just sounds... Well, they're using all different... They've got like 4 drummers, and they kind of change the drummers for each song, and everybody's having their kind of little spotlight points.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, like
it.
a little moment to shine, a little moment to show to broadcast their talents.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so good as well, because getting people involved in a band, you bring in a relationship together.
Well, with the band, it's a healthy dependent relationship.
Relationships. See, guys, we even managed to mention healthy dependent relationships in our News Weekly episodes.
We've got to get it somewhere, haven't we now?
Yeah, like our News Weekly is a healthy, dependable kind of way, because we're spreading you guys kind of information, and it's building a community. It's great. So, guys, let's now move on to the COVID-19 updates. So far, guys, in England, this is from today's Google search, we have 9,174 cases in England. But that's not all doom and gloom, don't you worry, because we have 42 million people so far with the first dose.
That's amazing.
Of the
it's
COVID-19 vaccine. Amazing stuff, and then we have 30 million people with the second dose. So that's 67.4% of people in the UK so far with the first dose, and we have 48.8% of people with the second dose. So now there's one thing we'd like to mention though. We do have a new variant of the COVID-19 about at the moment. It's called the Delta variant. I nearly called it a different name than the Delta variant. Now, what is expressed in many articles that this is sort of the COVID-19 variant, but on steroids. So it's this variant is one that you need to look out for. So guys, if this isn't a reminder enough, make sure to keep hand sanitising and just being careful and wearing your mask when it's appropriate and all sorts of stuff like that. So let's move on to a little bit more news. So over the last 7 days, we've had 58,000 people daily tested. That's in the 7 days mark, which is pretty damn good. So we've got 552 people getting the first dose daily, and we have 872 people getting the second dose daily, which is great. And also, guys, in the United Kingdom alone, we only have 19 cases getting reported daily, which is amazing.
I think that's great, you know, because
like in the first few like News Weekly episodes, there'd be
like
there was in the thousands and stuff,
and it's like there's so many that, there's so many this, so many that. But I think as much as we're coming out of it, there's still that danger of people catching COVID or carrying it and like giving it to other people.
Yeah.
So just be careful. Keep wearing your mask. Like I know I've been in London and like going past a lot of the bars.
That's a good question to ask you. How was how did people treat the mask situation over in London? Was it a lot?
Do you know what? It was very like, you could hear a lot of crowds, and some people weren't wearing masks, some people was very kind of COVID, like, we've got to wear masks, we've got to keep the distance, and some people wasn't. And I think we get that everywhere, but because London is a massive city, it's kind of like, I think you notice it more because they crowd more people in, and obviously on the tubes, everybody just gets on, and sometimes it's very like, you're cramped, and I think with the whole COVID situation, it's very, very weird. And I mean, I just think that it was kind of like, for me, it was a very weird experience being there, because it was like, obviously you try and keep your distance and you try and keep protected, but I think it's really hard in a big city like that. And I just think
I can understand
the world, but the whole thing is the world's getting back to normal in a way, and everybody just wants to get back. So I think it's just kind of being kind of aware of yourself. If you get into a situation,
aware of your surroundings as
Yeah.
well. Like,
so if you think
just be
that,
careful.
if you feel like you're standing near someone who's a bit like uncomfortable, maybe just move away. Or yourself, like if you can try and get yourself out of the situation, try and do that. And I think just keep yourself protected for it.
Yeah,
And that's, I
definitely.
think that's the main thing about this.
Protecting yourself.
Getting back to
really.
normal, getting back to our normal lives, but keeping safe at the same time.
Yeah, but obviously, guys, we're all going back to normal life, normal living, meeting up with friends and stuff like that. And obviously, a lot of the regulations and guidelines are dropping and stuff like that, but please still be aware of that. It's still risky, we've got variant after variant coming out.
If we all stick together, great song that is.
Stick together, definitely.
And if we all do that and we don't go against each other,
by each other.
yeah,
Good song.
stand by.
Sorry, Ed.
Stand by.
Stand
yeah,
by.
but if we all stick together
Yeah.
and work together than being against each other, we're gonna get through this. And I think sometimes everybody's a bit like, oh, this is the better way, that's the wrong way. And I think if we all stick together, we're going to get through this stronger and better.
I mean, we've all gotten through something that not many people have faced. The last time we ever faced a pandemic was back when with the plague and stuff, and that was back when technology and science wasn't really a thing. So guys, we've been blessed that we had this technology and blessed that we've had social media and stuff to keep in touch with people and keep everyone going. So what we all should really do is give ourselves a pat on the back. Like, we've gotten through this, stuck them together, and stayed strong. And it's great, guys, because sooner or later, this COVID-19 might be a thing of the past, and we can live on and enjoy ourselves, which we already are doing. So, guys, I think that is the end of our lovely News Weekly.
And I just want to say, all our Q&As are out as well with Toya, Sasha and Jamie. Go check them out as well, because there was an absolute laugh and just amazing to record.
And also, make sure to check out our podcast. Our first one is an introduction to our podcast, telling you guys about the reboot, the rename, the rebrand, which is Podcast Corner 101. Guys,
I did like that name, Jack. That was a great name. I don't know where it came from, but it was great, Jack.
Me?
Yeah, you're brave.
My laugh's that strong.
At least it's not a red light.
Yeah. Well, guys, with that happening and with telling you guys about the podcast and things coming up, make sure to tune in, make sure to hit that bell button below, and make sure to subscribe so you can see more videos. And if you like this video, then like it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week for another video on Monday, don't forget. See you shortly.
And you have been watching
News Weekly.